IVF is not always the answer, neither is IUI. It's not always the answer. Sometimes all your body needs is rest. Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel as we continue our gist. First things first, I think I need to put out a disclaimer. Not a disclaimer, an apology. So I got feedback from the last video that the background sound was overshadowing my voice. She really couldn't hear what I was saying, and that the video was too long. I'm so sorry. I legit do not know what happened to my audio. Like, I finished editing and then it just went haywire. Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we're continuing. I'm doing my night routine, so just bear with me. So we're continuing series on my journey to motherhood. And today we'll just continue from where we last stopped. If you're new here, you can just go back and check the other videos I've put out on this. It's a series that is ongoing. So just click my journey to motherhood and then you can find all of the good gist. Yeah, so like I said the last time, after we miscarried the IVF, we moved on. And if you remember, I mentioned something about the fibroid, saying that, take note of the fibroid, right? Like, bear in mind, I mentioned something about fibroid. So all of this happened in 2022. And then 2022 August-ish. And then I just realized that when I started, it took me about 2 to 3 months for my body to really regularize, not regularize to be honest. And then I realized that I was having mad pain with my, like, whenever I was flowing, right? And then it was attributed to the fibroids. Like, it was crazy. I couldn't bear it. And then on the other hand, I'm like, oh no, people always say, like, if you do fibroid surgery, if you don't take it immediately, it regrows. So all of that, like, just put in fear. I really didn't want to do a fibroid surgery, to be honest. I was just really scared. But the pain went on for so long, I couldn't bear it. Then in November, right? I think November, I had a mad ass episode. Like, I could not. Then my husband and I decided that we should just, do the fibroid surgery. Do the surgery to get the fibroid off. There's a name they call it. I can't remember still. So we went in, we did the surgery. Now, my sister's friend told her about somewhere that they use and that the lady was good and all. So we went there, we did the surgery. Of course, she's a gynae, but before we did the surgery, we talked about our history and all of that, which is normal for her to get our history and all, right? We talked about it, and she was like, "Oh no, why would anybody do IVF with this size of fibroid? This one, that one, that no." It wasn't this, and that instead of doing IVF, they would have done IUI, which brings us to today's gist, the IUI process. Well, I'm like, you know what? Just whatever. Majorly, like, what was in my head, I can't even lie, was get this fibroid out. Like, I would just want to be sane. Then we discussed and everything, and then we did the fibroid surgery. Now, I was asked to, I think they said, come back in 3 months to see so that we could talk about the IUI and all of that. So yeah, we did the thyroid surgery. I healed really well. I had one of my friend's sisters stay with me in the hospital with my husband, of course. Like, again, the love I've been receiving throughout this process is just phenomenal. So we did the process, and then after 3 months, we went in. Then she started talking about, oh, that why don't we do IUI, try IUI, and that the IUI is going to be like 2 or 3 cycles. I think 2 cycles, she said, and then we see, what happens since we've taken out the fibroids and all. So I'm like, we're going to think about it. Me, I hadn't fully healed from that IVF process. I am not even going to lie. So now this, like, 3 months time, our the other thing we're working on, which was like our relocation, had clicked, or I think like we had heard news on it, and my husband was like, okay, since we're leaving and um this whole fertility process and everything is always it's usually more expensive abroad. We could try the IUI before we leave. We get like it didn't harm us, or it wasn't any harm. So we then went ahead and did the IUI. Now think of IUI as the younger brother of IVF. If you think of it that way, you understand. In the process of the IVF, the egg is fertilized outside the body and then put back into the woman's body, right? But in the case of IUI, your body is prepped, and then the sperm of your partner is washed, processed, cleaned, medical term, and then put back in your body. So it's almost like a game of chance. Again, I always say it's a game of chance and grace. So we did it. My body, they gave me some drugs. I took some drugs, and then body was prepped. Of course, we'll come in at intervals. I think every 3 days or so to check how the follicles were growing or how the follicles were doing. My body was basically responding to it. And then after a couple of days, at the right time, like when my body was prepped, and then on the particular day where I was ovulating, my peak, they did the insertion, like she putting the sperm into your partner's my partner's sperm in my body to try to fertilize. We did that, and then, but to be honest, I'm not even going to lie, during that IUI process, I had zero, like, I wasn't, the hope, the joy and everything, I kind of feel like it died when I miscarried that the IVF babies. Like, there just wasn't any ginger per se. We did it, sha. 2 weeks after, they said we should come in after 2 weeks for a test. 2 weeks later, we went in. Again, I didn't test at home. I usually wouldn't test at home because, boy, I don't know. Went, and then they tested and it was negative. To be honest, I kind of felt it was going to be negative. So I didn't really feel bad. So the lady was like, oh, okay, that we have another cycle to go, that we could come in whenever we wanted for the other cycle. I'm like, there's no point, like, we're traveling, so it's okay. And then she's like, oh, that she has one of her doctors that had recently relocated and is in the same province as we are. She could hook us up with the guy to get. I'm like, no, right? It's fine. We don't have to go through all of the rigmaroles for that to happen. I'm like, well, let's just scrap it. So we carried on. To be honest, I didn't really mourn that period. That's IUI that didn't work. I just counted it as one of our losses. That one cost us 750K. That was the cost for the IUI. That was not including the cost for the IVF for the fibroid surgery. Like I mentioned earlier, the company that I worked for, or the companies that we worked for, covered our HMO, like our health insurance, our medical insurance was 100% coverage except for anything fertility, right? So it we didn't have to pay for the surgery, but for the IUI, it cost us about 750. So when that one now failed, as God will have it, around like say 2 or 3 weeks later, the our relocation shikini just clicked and all. So I just focused my energy on that. Like I wasn't even thinking about I like I said, I didn't want it. Like from the beginning, I just knew, or I felt like it wasn't gonna be successful. So I'm like, why am I crying over something I already know the end from the beginning? Like something like that. So I'm like, well, there's no point. So we just moved on, and then I focused all of my energy on our relocation. So that's how that IUI own did. Oh, no pain, nothing. But if there's one thing that started happening to me at that time, like I I got tired, right? I think after IVF hospital had done what they did, because I remember the nurse that was assigned to me reaching out to me to like, oh, like say check up on me to find out how I was doing. So what I'm doing now, I'm just prepping my hair for tomorrow. I remember the nurse that was assigned to me from IVF hospital reaching out to me like to find out, oh, how I was doing and all of that. And then when I said like told her how I was coping and everything, she now said, okay, that she would advise that we actually just do another before I proceed. Postpartum hair loss is not a joke. Tell me why my hair is thinning out. Like the other day, a full strand cut from here. Now look at this one. See, my hair is thinning out. I really don't know what's going on. But yeah, I digress. She was like, oh, that she would advise that we actually just do another one. That, when your body has carried a baby or like when you've taken in, it's advisable you just do another one back to back without waiting. Good. These people expecting us to count out another 2.7 million and give to them because quote and unquote is advisable that you do it immediately back to back. To be honest, I didn't give her a response. I didn't even answer her. I feel like I unblocked that lady recently on my WhatsApp because I'm like, you're obviously not normal. Like you're not a normal thinking person to tell me this. But yeah, that's it. That's how we went through that process. That's how we grieved that process, did the IUI. And then someone would even ask, like, why did you do the IVF before the IUI? To be honest, I do not know. Like I said, when we went to IVF hospital, we saw a specialist. That was his advice, and then we did it. And then at the end of the day, we miscarried due to reasons I genuinely do not know. I honestly don't know why we miscarried, to be honest. But in hindsight, I feel like this was just God trying to teach me to rest, basically, in Him and know that the most popular answer or the most popular solution isn't necessarily my solution or our solution. So that's how I see it, to be honest. And seeing it that way has really helped me like heal better. You get so yeah, that's just it with the IUI process. So in our next video, I'm going to be telling you guys, like I'm going to be gisting you for what's happened next. So yeah, thank you so much for watching up till this time. You see, today's video is not even long at all because the IUI process was not. The IUI process was not. To be honest, I didn't. My heart was not even there. I just did it because at that point my husband is like, oh, these things are more expensive abroad, so let's just do it since we've already started the journey and let's see how it pans out. And then that was how we did it, and here we are. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I see the comments, I see the messages. I genuinely empathize with my fellow sisters and brothers, like families in general, that are going through the TTCing process, that is the trying to conceive process. I know it can be very overwhelming. Like I have been there, I have done that, I have felt it, I have lived it. I just want you to know that I understand, and something like it's going to you will have the last laugh at the end of the day. Like take it from me, I don't know what you're going through, I don't know what your fate is, but I just want you to know that at the end of the day you're going to have the last laugh. It's not easy, the journey is very stressful, it's emotionally draining, but it's all going to be okay. If you are a Christian, I would advise you to just rest in God. And I'm not even kidding, saying one should rest, like advising you, oh, to say rest in God, I know it is easier said than done. because think about it. Most of the time, we feel like we can do something, but just if you can rest, try to rest in God. I wish you all the best. I join you in your prayers. So yeah, that's the end of my. This is the end of my night routine, and again, this is the end of today's today's episode. In the next one, I'm going to be telling you people what followed after that, because after that we relocated to Canada and they're still living our lives. Like we're just like, let's just put this behind us, and start living our lives. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching up to this point. I really appreciate it. Please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe, all of the good stuff. Like the numbers, my watch numbers are good, but it doesn't translate to my subscription. Please now, Joma, help me, help a girl, help a sister. Just click on the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you all in the next one. I love you, and I want you to know that Jesus loves you even more. Bye.